Hello, good morning for a little while yet. You'll have to excuse the noise. I have my dehydrator working. I've got some bananas going in the dehydrator right now. So those will be going for a day, and then I have some beef jerky in the fridge curing because it has to take 24 hours to do so. And since those take 24 hours in the dehydrator, I always just do the cure of my beef jerky in that time, so that way when those are done, I can just take the beef jerky and put it into the dehydrator. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today was something that I thought about yesterday that really kind of bothered me. And okay, so I went to a dietitian meeting last week, and I said that I was looking for something that I can do, things that I can do with this, to, stay and keep being active and, help with my getting healthier, or at least, eating a healthier diet. I'm not the best. I'm not even going to claim it. I am at least trying. That's what I can claim. So anyway, I continuously asked her, I was like, do you have any website, YouTube channels that, deal in making healthy meals for families with picky eaters? And she would not give me any, she wouldn't give me any channel advice. So either that leads me to believe she doesn't really do her research for her field of, she's a dietitian. She should know those types of questions. She should at least know one of the high-profile YouTubers who does such things. That, to me, that's one of those things that it's like, or she could have offered a cookbook option. Like, you could go get this cookbook or this cookbook and, look through there and find things. She did not give me any options. I continuously asked her. I was like, well, this is a general meal idea. Oh, I needed to sneeze, but I'm trying not to. All right, it has passed now. Anyway, so I would ask her, I'm like, okay, well, this is a general meal that I like to make that I thought was a healthy meal. So I would cut up potatoes like these. These ones here are a little tiny purple. There's a little bag of, there you go, this brand. Anyway, I used about, half of it in a meal. Anyway, I'll cut up some of those, or I'll just buy a bag of red potatoes or whatever, and I'll cut them into mouth-sized pieces. I'm kind of not a big fan of people who cook whole things, like something that's this big. My motto is kind of, if you get it on your plate, you shouldn't need to use a knife to cut it, unless it's, like a protein, like a meat, a pork chop, a steak. That I'm not going to cube up for you. But all the vegetables should be all fork size that you could just eat without, breaking in half or eating a couple. But anyway, that's not the... Okay, so I cut up potatoes and mix them with some seasoning, and then I get like a whole not whole chicken, but bone-in chicken. Doesn't matter what kind. I like to use the thigh and leg combo, but sometimes I'll just do legs, drummies. And so then I'll just set those on there, throw them in the oven at 400, or is it 425? Anyway, for 40 to 45 minutes, enough time for the chicken to cook, because, bone-in chicken takes longer to cook. Well, anyway, of course, you also season the chicken before. And anyway, there's always some kind of complaint with that meal. And, and I expressed that to her, and I'm like, is there any other option that I can do? Like, I got one kid who will not eat onions. And I like onions, so I like to buy onions and then just cut them up real finely. And like I said, with the potatoes, I'll put the onions in there, or in the carrots. And, any kind of root vegetable goes great in, for roasting like that. And mushrooms. I got another kid who won't eat mushrooms. And she just was not helpful. And she kept going back to, well, you seem to be doing a good job with, most everything. She said that I needed to have, because I was doing, I'm averaging 1,500 calories each week. That's what I've been trying to average around. Because my one doctor was like, my main doctor, she's like, oh, you are taking over 2,000 calories. So when I got my Fitbit, I started really watching it. So here's another option for that. So I had bought a pomelo, right? I had already cut one up, and this one I really need to do. So I'll probably actually do that here in a few minutes. So anyway, they didn't have pomelo in the Fitbit database. So I looked up, the nutrition facts, because you can do that. You can look up the nutrition facts for just about anything, and it'll give you the calories from fat, saturated fat, trans fat, all those options, protein, potassium, and all that. So anyway, I added that because somebody even wrote, I don't know if this is a thing or not, or maybe it's just somebody being weird, but somebody wrote PLUMMO, Plumelo, I think maybe is what she wrote, or he or her person. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. So I typed in, pomelo fresh or something like that. Anyway, still off topic. And so then I asked her, I'm like, well, I use a dehydrator. I said, first of all, I'm not willing to cut out my beef jerky that I make myself. And I said, and I also use and I make banana chips. And I asked her, what other fruits or vegetables can I use? Because she complained that I eat snacks. And then I'm like, well, the snacks I like to really eat are those soup and oyster crackers, the little tiny crackers. You can take like a whole handful of them, and it's 70 calories or something like that. Of course, there's other things in it, but, whatever. So I was like, well, give me other options. She could not give me another item that I could put in my dehydrator that I could substitute for that. So I was a little bit annoyed by that. If you're going to suggest things to me, you should have things like, I was really disappointed. There's no excuse why a dietitian of today should not know at least 3 YouTube channels that just solely do healthy foods. Like, I subscribe to several YouTube food channels, like Laura in the Kitchen, Food Wishes, oh shoot, I can't think of her name. She goes, hi lovelies. She's got a little short blonde hair. I can't think of her name or her channel, but anyway, she always makes things that are mostly healthy. I actually like some of her. I've done several of her recipes, but for the life of me, I cannot remember her channel name. Anyway, and then like for baking things, it's Joy of Baking is one that I really like. I used to watch Betty in the Kitchen a lot. I haven't really watched a lot of hers. She's good. It's just I haven't really I haven't really watched much of her stuff lately. But I mean, she couldn't even give me any cooking channels. And if you have a cooking channel that is centered around healthier, losing weight, or just general eating healthier with picky kids, or a picky eater or whatever, that would be awesome. But I'll eventually find some. I do search in the channel, search for things, and I do come across channels, but a lot of them will use, I have one of them pasta or vegetable spiralizing things that I got. And I actually had this really good beet salad earlier this week, maybe Tuesday, maybe Monday, with my husband. And I took a picture of it, but of course, since I use my phone as my camera, I can't just show it. But anyways, a beet salad, and they used a spiralized thingy for the beets, and I was like, that's a good idea. I like that option. But you see, that dietitian, she didn't suggest any of those things, and I did ask, and it's like, you can't, I don't know, I just feel like if I see a dietitian again, I'll probably pick somebody else, or just not, I probably won't be going back, honestly. And I will be bringing that up with my doctor when I go see her next year, because I have to see her every year because she's the one that re-ups my prescription for my birth control hormone medication, which, I don't know, today I had the, heaviest of hot flashes. I mean, it was drippy sweat, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm just here cutting up my bananas for the dehydrator, and I'm just like dripping sweat, and I could feel my heart racing, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm not stressed, so it wasn't stress that induced it. I'm actually having a really good day. I just wanted to talk about my experience with this dietitian. She did give me some 3 pages to look over, but it's just general information, like, and she did suggest that since I used to only eat 2 meals a day, and she asked, well, why aren't you eating a breakfast? And I said, well, I used to. I was making Greek yogurt, and then I would have the generic grape nut cereal, and I'd sprinkle that on, and then I would add not banana, well, I could use banana, I have one for tomorrow, but I have blueberries that I put on top. And she's like, well, there you go, that's perfect. It's got high protein, although when I looked at the ingredients for the Greek yogurt, it's not that high in protein, but it is. It's healthy for us. She's like, well, just take a half a cup of that, and I'm like, I don't even use that much. But anyway, she seemed more keen on making sure you get up every hour and walk, and so I've set my thing to beep at me every hour as a reminder if I didn't get my 250 steps in. And yesterday I did every day that I had set on my little thing, and I got up and I walked, except the last 2 where I had actually said, you know what, I have to catch up on some recorded TV shows. So I actually kind of lazed off for the last of the day, but you know what, whatever. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about my experience with the dietitian. I hope that's not how all dietitians go. And I realize I'm a bigger woman, and I got myself to that position, so I'm not stupid, I know. I don't need anybody to tell me I'm a fat person. I can see it every day in the mirror. I grew up as a skinny kid, like to the point where people thought I had problems with, what is that food thing where if you eat and then you go throw up the meal. Anyway, people used to think I had that, so I was on restrictive, because I'd always have to use the bathroom after I ate, and it just was my thing as a teenager. It's like I always had to go to the bathroom after. So I'm like, just go with me. I don't friggin' care. But, I used to be a skinny person. I was a skinny person until I had children, and then I just could never get the weight off. So anyway, I do try and have been trying, but I actually have to end this because once it gets to 15 or over, I can't upload it onto YouTube from iPhoto. So, all right. Well, anyway, I just wanted to talk about my experience with a dietitian. If you have any information or want to talk about this topic with me, cool. All right. Bye.